What's up YouTube, it's JackalGoldKick, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Ice Cube fun facts. So let's do this. Got a list right here on this other phone. So Ice Cube fun fact number 1, his favorite movie is Jaws, because he says that it has the perfect of every genre, and he was mentioning them. This was in a video he did about like answering Google's most asked questions or something about Ice Cube. And yeah, Jaws is a really good movie. Ice Cube fun fact number 2 is that Ice Cube got his name from his elder brother Clyde when they were children, because Clyde threatened to put him in a freezer until he became an Ice Cube. So that's the story he told. That's apparently how he came up with the name Ice Cube. Ice Cube fun fact number 3 is he had a falling out with Mac 10. Mac 10 was a member of West Side Connection and Dub C. And Mac 10 and Ice Cube were cool for a while, but eventually Mac 10 and Ice Cube had a falling out. Mac 10 has talked about in an interview how this happened. Essentially what happened, to sum it up, there was somebody that was in Ice Cube's family that was involved in the business with him and West Side Connection, and apparently like there was some tension going on with this person, and just some tension going on with this person and Mac 10, and Mac 10 kept trying to go to Ice Cube to tell him, look, you got to get this handled, or me and the street dudes or whatever who I know, something's going to happen. And eventually this person in Ice Cube's family got beat up. And then what ended up happening is, like, apparently Ice Cube's wife has some stuff to say, and that situation just pretty much killed everything between Ice Cube and Mac 10. That's when they had a falling out, and they've never worked together again. They've never done anything together again. And I think it's a shame, because I think they worked well together, and I think Mac 10 fit perfectly in West Side Connection. So yeah, it's hopefully one day they can squash their beef and be cool again, but I don't know. Ice Cube fun fact number 4, his sons have rapped before. Their rap names OMG and Doughboy. They've actually rapped before and done rap songs, and they're not too bad. They're really good on the song Y'all Know How I Am. Ice Cube fun fact number 5 is his son O'Shea Jackson, or his son, hopefully I'm saying his name right, his son O'Shea acts and does movies. So yeah, he's been in movies like Cocaine Bear. He was in a movie with 50 Cent and Gerard Butler called Den of Thieves. So Ice Cube's son has been in movies, and of course he played his dad in the NWA movie Straight Outta Compton, and he did a really good job. So much like his dad, he's an actor too, and he's pretty good. Ice Cube fun fact number 6, he's in a video with Eminem. There's this really, I think there's like at least 2 of these, where Ice Cube, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre, they were doing this Up in the Smoke tour back in the day, all 4 of them. And there's at least like 2 videos where you get to see Eminem and Ice Cube in the same room. Specifically this one where they're all standing next to each other, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Cube. And they're talking to an interviewer. And then there's another one where they're like on a couch or something, and it's really cool. It's cool to see them all together. I wish they would have all did music together at that time. I wish they would have done some songs together, because Ice Cube and Eminem have never done music together. I really wish they would, because I think that would have been dope, especially back in the day. But yeah, Ice Cube fun fact number 7 is Ice Cube and Tupac actually met each other. So there's like this rare video out there I saw as a YouTube short, where you can briefly see when Tupac was still alive, Ice Cube and Tupac actually met each other. And that was a cool moment, and that was cool to see, because they actually did do a song together. It's called Last Words. It has him and Ice-T. But yeah, that was a really cool video, and for those that haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Ice Cube fun fact number 8 is Ice Cube, this is how he met Snoop Dogg. Ice Cube met Snoop Dogg at his Doggy Style release party in a yacht boat, and briefly said what's up, which is how he met Snoop Dogg. But he didn't stay around or down the boat, because Snoop was with Death Row, because you had the whole, there was the East versus West Coast beef, and you had, Death Row, they were beefing with people, they were beefing with, Eazy-E's label, especially Suge Knight. There was just a lot of tension and beef going on back in the day, and that's probably why Ice Cube didn't stay around too long, because of the whole beef and all that stuff that was going on. But that's how Ice Cube met Snoop Dogg. Ice Cube fun fact number 9 is the game was supposed to replace Mac 10 and be in West Side Connection. So at one point, after Ice Cube and Mac 10 had a falling out, they were going to have the game be in West Side Connection. And for some reason it never happened. I don't know why, but apparently the game was supposed to be in West Side Connection at one point as the replacement for Mac 10. I do wish that would have happened. I think that would have been very interesting to see how that would have turned out, what the game would have brought to West Side Connection, how it would have sounded. I think it would have been cool because the game's a good rapper. He can make some dope music, and he's from the West Coast too, like Mac 10. I do think the game is a better rapper than Mac 10, so maybe the group would be even better. I don't know. It's hard to say because it never happened, but that's an interesting fun fact. It would have been interesting to see how that would have turned out if it actually did happen, but it never did. It's not to take away from Mac 10 though, because you know he's got a dope song like Full Life, and he's done great stuff in West Side Connection, and he had good chemistry with Ice Cube and Dub C in West Side Connection. So I'm not taking that away at all, but yeah. Ice Cube fun fact number 11 is he has Eminem in his top 10. So he was talking about like his top 10 rappers, and Eminem was in there. Ice Cube fun fact number 12 is he had a planned album with Dr. Dre. Him and Dr. Dre were supposed to do an album back in, I believe, the 90s called Helter Skelter. And one of the songs that they did together, one of the most popular songs attached to him, is Natural Born Killers, which is a great song. It's got great production, good horrorcore vibes, just a great song from Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. And apparently that was supposed to be on it, and they were supposed to do this Helter Skelter album together, but for some reason it just never happened, which is a shame, because I know they were in the NWA group and they worked together in that sense. Ice Cube and Dr. Dre did do some songs together, but over the years, especially nowadays, you don't really see Ice Cube and Dr. Dre really work together like that anymore. And you didn't really see Dr. Dre show up on a lot of Ice Cube solo albums or even produce a lot of his songs. It kind of seems like that group and members kind of distanced from each other, kind of similar to what happened with D12. But yeah, it's a shame that album didn't happen, because that would have been an interesting album. Ice Cube fun fact number 13. He put his 2 cents into the Eminem versus MGK beef, replying to someone who said MGK overcame No Vaseline as a diss and said Rap Devil was better, and Ice Cube said, yeah, right, 1-on-1 will never beat 1 against 4, plus Jerry Heller murdered the track, killed the group, game over. So yeah, someone tried to say that Rap Devil it overcame No Vaseline as a diss track. Ice Cube was like, mine was 1 against 4 plus Jerry Heller and murdered the track and killed the group. And Ice Cube's right, because No Vaseline is one of the best diss songs of all time. And even though I like Rap Devil by MGK, it's not as good as it's nowhere near No Vaseline's level. So I can see, you know, why he said what he said to that person on Twitter who said that, because Rap Devil's good, but it ain't No Vaseline good. Come on now. Ice Cube fun fact number 14. Eminem's Snoop Dogg collab was originally on Mount Westmore's album. So there's this group that Ice Cube is in with not Mac 10. Ice Cube has this super group he's in with Too Short and E40 and Snoop Dogg. I think they're called like Mount Westmore or something like that. And they did an album, I think it's out now, Mount Westmore. And originally, you know, after Eminem and Snoop Dogg squashed their beef, they had this song that was going to be coming out. And I was reading, and at first it was going to be, their collab was going to be on this album, but it ended up being on Curtain Call 2 by Eminem. Now, I don't know if it would have just been the same song on that album, where it just would have been Eminem and Snoop Dogg only, but if it actually would have been on that album, but it would have been a different version, and you were going to have Ice Cube on there, and Too Short and E40, plus Snoop Dogg, I think that would have been a lot better, and I think it would have been more interesting for a collab. So I do wonder if that was an idea they had at the time. Who knows, there might be a version out there with that song, because there's certain songs out there that have different versions of it. Like, for example, the Dr. Dre and Eminem song Guns Blazing, there's a different version of that song, but we've only heard like a snippet of it. So yeah, maybe it would have been the same song, but it ended up being on Curtain Call 2. But who knows, it could have had all these other rappers from Mount Westmore on it. I don't really know why it was taken off Mount Westmore and put on Curtain Call 2, but yeah. Ice Cube fun fact number 15. He exited this movie called Oh Hell No with Jack Black movie because they wanted Ice Cube to take the COVID vaccine, but he didn't want to. he was offered $9 million. So yeah, he was supposed to do this movie with Jack Black, but they wanted him to take the COVID vaccine, and Ice Cube didn't. He didn't want to, and he wasn't allowed to do the movie, which I think is bullshit. Because it should be your choice or not if you want to take that. And you know, he was offered $9 million for it. So yeah. Ice Cube fun fact number 16 is he was a choice for O-Dogg and Menace to Society movie, but turned it down and didn't want to be typecasted as a gangster in every movie, but he regrets turning it down. So yeah, apparently Ice Cube was supposed to be in the Menace to Society film, and he was a choice for O-Dogg, but he turned it down because of, you know, not wanting to be typecasted as a gangster all the time. But apparently he regrets turning it down, which I think he would have did a good job if he was in that movie. I mean, Lawrence Tate, he did a pretty good job as O-Dogg in Menace to Society. I mean, that's honestly, that's not one of my favorite hood movies. I always thought that was just okay. Maybe I'd like it a little bit more if Ice Cube was in it, I don't know. But it would have been interesting to see what Ice Cube would have did in that movie and in that role, but he was a choice for it. Ice Cube fun fact number 17. The new Friday movie, fourth one, Ice Cube said, now this is going to be a long one, because, you know, I'm a fan of the Friday films, and I always wondered, like, when are we going to get a new Friday? What's going on with the new Friday? So it's going to be a long one. Ice Cube fun fact number 17. New Friday movie, fourth one, Ice Cube said it hasn't happened yet because I'm trying to get it out of Warner Brothers. They don't believe in the culture, man, Ice Cube said to the podcast host Nori and DJ EFN. The 53-year-old Los Angeles native also revealed that Warner Brothers has distribution rights to the Friday films. Once I take the characters' names, it becomes a property of Friday. Cube added about people asking him to possibly change the film's name. It's useless, they just need to come off that shit. Cube noted that Warner Brothers rejected 2 of his scripts for the movie. The first script included the characters Craig, Ice Cube, and Day-Day Mike Epps going to jail for selling marijuana. That would have been interesting to see. The shit is funny, Ice Cube said. After they rejected it, they had all these movies about going to jail, so I was like, man, see y'all, fuck me up. Because yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's like, why would you reject that script, but then do movies that have that script? You know, it's like, just do the movie, you know? And then he said, after they rejected it, Ice Cube said, after they rejected it, oh, I already read that part. What the fuck am I doing? He said the other script was about the youngsters in the hood having beef with the OGs, and Craig has to come back and squash that. Smokey's Chris Tucker's son is the new Debo, Tommy Lee Jr., and he's wild. Cube added that Warner Brothers tripped on it in addition to talking about some of Friday's prominent characters passing away, including John Witherspoon, rest in peace, who played Cube's father in the film, Lister, who played Debo, rest in peace to him as well, and A.J. Johnson, who played Zell, rest in peace to him as well. It's sad how many people in Friday died. When asked if Tucker would star in another film, Cube said the comedian and actor hasn't expressed full interest in doing another Friday. Chris is slippy, said Cube, but me and Chris is cool. So yeah, that's like the full information and everything I wrote down from what I could research about the Friday film, because you know there's a total of 3 Friday films, and you know, for a while I was wondering, is there ever going to be a new one? When's there going to be a new one? At this point, I don't know if we ever will see a new Friday. At this point though, even if we do get it, I don't even know if I want to see it, because I feel like it's too late now, because you wouldn't be able to have Debo because the actor's dead. You wouldn't be able to have Craig's dad because John Witherspoon's dead. You wouldn't be able to have Ezell because that actor's dead. And then you wouldn't be able to have Smokey, who was like the best character in the Friday film. I know Chris Tucker, he didn't want to do those movies. He didn't want to do the sequels because he became Christian and stuff like that. But I really think Chris Tucker should have just put that aside and still did the role, because that's his best role. That's what made him popular. People love that role of his in the movie Friday. And Mike Epps was great in the sequels, but man, I really wish Chris Tucker could have been in the sequels to Friday. Or if they ever were going to do a one more Friday, he could have at least showed up for that, because I always wanted to see him and Mike Epps and Ice Cube work together. So I don't know if there ever even will be another Friday film. You know, maybe if it happens, maybe it'll be good, but at this point I wouldn't want it, because a lot of the prominent people are dead now, unfortunately, so rest in peace to them. And you know, plus there's probably no chance Chris Tucker would come back, so I don't know. I just think it's too late at this point, but we'll see what happens with it. Ice Cube fun fact number 18. This is another long one as well. This is about Chris Tucker being asked why he didn't return to Friday. So Ice Cube fun fact number 18 is that why Chris Tucker didn't return to Friday. Ice Cube said we were ready to pay Chris Tucker 10 to 12 million to do next Friday, but he turned us down. He turned us down for religious reasons. He didn't want to cuss or smoke weed on camera anymore. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Chris Tucker didn't return to the Friday sequels, and he didn't want to be a part of it anymore because he became religious, and he didn't want to smoke weed on camera or cuss anymore. You know, which, hey, you know, respect to him if that's how he wants to approach his life and go about it, but I still think that's a shame because Smokey was like Chris Tucker's best character. And it's just a shame because we've never gotten sequels or even just a second appearance of the Smokey character. I mean, Chris Tucker has had other good stuff like Rush Hour and stuff like that, but I mean, it's fine if Chris Tucker wants to be religious, but I still think he should, you know, just put that aside and come back and play Smokey because he can make a ton of money and people would love to see that. But it's pretty clear that that probably won't happen, which, you know, I'm disappointed by, but you know, it is what it is. Ice Cube fun. So yeah, that was explaining why. That explains the whole Chris Tucker, why he never came back to the Friday sequels and why he probably wouldn't have been in the last one. And I think that's good to put it out there because I always wondered that myself. Like, how come he never showed up for the other Friday sequels? You know, growing up, that was something I just never fully understood until now. Ice Cube fun fact number 19 is he was supposed to be in Poetic Justice movie instead of Tupac, but didn't because Ice Cube revealed why he backed down starring in Poetic Justice as Lucky, the role that eventually went to Tupac Shakur. During an interview on Big Boy Neighborhood, Ice Cube said he decided not to take part in Poetic Justice after director John Singleton initially didn't want Ice Cube to read the script. But when he did finally read the script, Ice Cube didn't love it and asked Singleton to change things. Singleton disagreed. Let me see if there's anything more. He didn't want to change it, so I didn't want to do it, said Ice Cube, as reported by Revolt. The problem was me playing Tupac's character. I don't think I'd kick my homeboy out the car for a girl I just met when we got to Oakland. I didn't think that was cool. Kind of made the character a sucker to me. However, it's not just that. Lucky told his friend to get out of the car because of Justice. Janet Jackson was simply riding along. Truth of this scene, according to Atlanta Black Star, is that Lucky told his friend to get out of the car after he hits Justice. Regardless, Ice Cube said that even though he wanted to be in the film to star opposite Jackson, he felt Shakur did a great job, as Lucky saying, "I'm glad Tupac did it. I think he killed it." I've never seen Poetic Justice myself. I've only seen bits and pieces in that clip where Tupac gets out of the truck and beats up that guy who is hitting the woman, but I've never seen Poetic Justice. I don't know how the movie is, but it would have been interesting to see how Ice Cube would have been in there, but I can't really say much because I haven't seen the film. I also seen that one clip from it where Tupac's like in the garage crying or something, but I've never seen the film, so there's not a lot I could say, but it would have been interesting to see how he would have been in that film, or just find a way to have him in there, because that would have been cool to have Ice Cube and Tupac in the same movie, you know. Ice Cube fun fact number 20. Ice Cube was supposed to be Rodney in the movie Baby Boy instead of Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg is in the movie Baby Boy. He plays this character named Rodney. He was like the villain. He's like the ex of the woman that Tyrese's character Jody is with. And apparently Ice Cube was a choice for Rodney. But it just never happened. It would have been interesting to see how Ice Cube would have did as Rodney. It would have been interesting to see how that would have turned out, but Snoop Dogg ended up getting the role instead. But I think Snoop Dogg did a pretty good job as Rodney in the Baby Boy movie, but it would have been interesting to see how Ice Cube would have played that role. I'm sure he would have did a really good job. Ice Cube fun fact number 21. Gene Simmons and Ice Cube had beef. So you had Gene Simmons from Kiss and Ice Cube had beef at one point because there was this whole thing going on a few years back where NWA was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which one thing I will say on this is, why can't they just make a Hall of Fame for all genres? You know, I'm not saying NWA doesn't deserve to be in any Hall of Fame because they started gangster rap, you know, and Eazy-E and all that stuff is an important part of hip-hop history, but why can't there be a hip-hop Hall of Fame? Why does the hip-hop stuff got to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? So maybe that's where Gene Simmons was getting at. I don't know. Or maybe he doesn't like rap. So that's one thing I will say about the whole Hall of Fame thing. I always thought it was stupid that we're putting rappers in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, let's make something for Rap Hall of Fame. You know, let's have individual Hall of Fame for individual genres. I've never understood that shit. But they had a little beef because NWA is put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which, despite what I said, they do deserve to be in there because of who they are and, you know, what they started in their rap, and they're an important part of the history. And I think Gene Simmons had an issue with it. I think he doesn't like rap. I can't fully remember what he said, but he said something negative about rap, and there was like a little spat and beef between him and Ice Cube. It would have been funny if it turned into some diss tracks, because you never really see a whole bunch of beefs between like different genre artists. Like, that would have been interesting to see Ice Cube dissing Kiss and then Kiss dissing Ice Cube. I don't know, but that was something that happened. And you know, honestly, Gene Simmons seems like kind of an asshole. I've seen him say other stuff, like other crazy shit. I can't remember the other stuff he said, but Gene Simmons seems like a fucking asshole. So yeah. And one more thing to say about that beef is I think there was other people saying stuff too. Like, I think MC Ren even said something. I can't remember where it was all addressed. I think Gene Simmons said what he said about it on Twitter, online. Maybe it was on camera. I think it was online, and then Ice Cube or MC Ren, and one of them addressed it online, and I think maybe one of them mentioned it in a speech or something like that. But yeah. Ice Cube fun fact number 22 is that Sean Fantano, for those that don't know, he is the voice for Franklin in Grand Theft Auto 5. Sean Fantano and Ice Cube got into a fight. Sean said he beat up Ice Cube, knocked him out, knocked him up, took his Westside Connection chain and Rolex during Cypress Hill beef. So way years ago, back in the day, when Ice Cube and Westside Connection were beefing with Cypress Hill, apparently Sean Fantano, him and Ice Cube got into a fight. He knocked out and beat up Ice Cube and took his Westside Connection chain and Rolex during the whole Cypress Hill beef. But they are cool nowadays. Let me clarify that. Sean Fantano and Ice Cube, they are cool nowadays. You know, they don't have beef like that. This was years and years ago with the whole Cypress Hill and Ice Cube beef. Ice Cube fun fact number 23. This is something I added myself because this is, I've always wanted to see a collab between these two, which I'll get to, but despite 2 interviews individually of Ice Cube and 50 Cent talking about each other, and Ice Cube's son working with 50 Cent in a movie, we still haven't gotten a collab with the two. That's something I've always wanted to see. I've always wanted to see Ice Cube and 50 Cent work together. I think they would do something really great together because they're both gangster rappers, and I could see them doing some dope ass shit, you know? Like, I wish they would collab. Because there was an interview where Ice Cube gave some credit or some positive things to say about 50, and then 50 responded to an interview saying, you know, being happy about it, saying, I feel like I still got more to prove or something to prove or something like that. So they didn't mention each other, but we've never seen them work together. And even to the fact that, you know, Ice Cube's son has been in the movie 50 Cent. But despite that, we still haven't seen them work together. So hopefully one day we can get a 50 Cent and Ice Cube collab. That's like one of my most wanted collabs in music. Ice Cube fun fact number 24. Natural Born Killer's music video is a different intro and new instrumental compared to the original audio release. So from what I remember, the music video of Natural Born Killers, it has like a different intro, because sometimes music videos of songs will have differences and different stuff in them compared to the audio. I remember the intro of the music video being different than just the audio song itself, and they had a new instrumental in there. Ice Cube fun fact number 25. Everything's Corrupt was supposed to come out years before it came out in 2018. It was delayed due to Ice Cube being busy with other projects, instead of the album took time. So yeah, the Everything's Corrupt album took time. He was busy with other stuff, and that's why it took so long to came out, and it finally came out in 2018. I do wish that album would have came out way before and didn't get delayed, because I think it would have been a lot better. I like some songs on Everything's Corrupt, but I heard that album in full. I didn't really care much for that album. That's probably like my least favorite Ice Cube album, because like with Ice Cube, he had a lot of dope songs in the 2010s. Sasquatch, Crowded, Sick Them Youngins on Him, the original version of Everything's Corrupt, those were really good songs. And if we could have gotten that type of Ice Cube and Everything's Corrupt coming out around that time instead, I think we would have gotten a better album. Because what we ended up getting, I wasn't really a big fan of, to be honest. And the new version he did of Everything's Corrupt on the 2018 release of it, I didn't like it. I really dislike it when a rapper takes a song that's good and makes a different version for an album. It just, to me, most times it ruins the song. Hobson even did that with All Your Fault with, what was it, No Shame, ruined that song when the original was vastly better. Ice Cube fun fact number 26, John Amos was in the Natural Born, Ice Cube fun fact number 26, John Amos was in the Natural Born Killers music video. So yeah, the music video for Natural Born Killers, John Amos, the actor, is actually in there. He's like a cop or something like that. And then finally, the last one, Ice Cube fun fact number 27, is Tupac was in the Natural Born Killers music video. And I think this is one of the coolest things. I still think it's one of the coolest hip-hop moments and things I noticed. Yeah, Tupac, he actually shows up in the Natural Born Killers music video, because, you know, the music video, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, they're in this building, they're rapping. It's like a horrorcore type song, and there's police outside. And near the end of the video, you know, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre are in the building, and Tupac's like a part of the police force, and he's a sniper, and he's like aiming a sniper and looking through the scope at Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. So I think that's pretty cool that Tupac showed up in that music video. They should have got him on the song, man, or at least should have did a remix with Tupac on the track, because that song would have been even crazier and even better if you had Tupac on there. You know, so yeah, that's it for Ice Cube fun facts. I had 27 here. This was Ice Cube fun facts. That's all I got to say in this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, notification bell. And for those that don't know, I have other fun facts videos. I have a playlist of them that this will be added to as well, so go check out the other ones if you haven't seen it. I got one on Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. I got a few on Eminem. I also got one on Ludacris. So yeah, check those videos out if you haven't seen them. And that's it for this Ice Cube fun facts. Peace.